Welcome, friends, to our Yin Yoga class. My name is Tammy. Our class is about feeling energized and refreshed. Feeling energized and refreshed before we move into spring break. I think we're just excited right now, though, to have a break, to do something else, and what a great way to begin. So beginning with our pillows or bolster, we can set it down on our mat. We'll turn so that we tuck our hips in towards our pillows here, our bolster, and lying over to your back. You can have your arms in towards the chest or opening up through the arms in line with the shoulders. Your knees may be bent like mine, or you can extend your legs straight. With this big opening into the front of our body, lifting our heart up to the sky. Will help us feel happy, bringing our energy back to ourselves. Noticing our breath. Is your breath even? Are you able to open up through the lungs? Open up into the abdomen with the inhale breath, into the sides of the body, into your back. Exhale breath, letting ourselves release a little bit more into the ground. Inhale breath, feel yourself grow taller. The exhale breath, we feel our facial muscles soften. Have you had a moment to be still today? Enjoying the stillness, quiet around you. Coming out of our supine pose. If your arms are open, you can take them in towards the center of your body, bending through the right knee, through the left knee. You may roll over to the side of your body, support, and make your way up. And moving our prop here, coming into supported bridge. lying again down on your back and having your block close by or your pillow close by so you can place it underneath of your sacrum. Now, finding what's the right height for you. I'm always using the middle height here. I'm not using the tallest. And placing it under my sacrum. The knees may be bent, or you may try this, that the legs would be straight, but make sure that you have enough support. And if I'm going to do it that way, I'm going to make sure that I have more support. So having on the flat or having on the lowest level for my block before I come into leg straight and the bridge, supported bridge. So what would you like to do? Couple options there, and make your way into the pose. Your head stays still. You may look up towards the ceiling without moving our head when you're in this position. Close your eyes. You may place your palms down towards the ground or turn the palms up. And then move your arms a little bit further away from the body. So I didn't put an elastic in my hair, so it's getting a little bit caught underneath me. So adjust when you need, and then back into stillness. Previous pose was opening up through the upper part of our body. Now this is more into the pelvis, opening up to the middle of our body. Notice if you're hanging on. So any body parts that you need to just let go. Breathe in positive energy back to yourself. Exhale what does not serve you. It's a really nice pose to do for digestion. You may hear different noises to the intestines, that opening up, helping your organs to work. Let's come out of supported bridge. So without turning our head, we can take our props away and move them over to the side. Now you can turn your head once they're on the side, and then into cradle, take your right knee and then left knee into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Take the right foot down, left foot down. Take your legs, feet wider than the hips, windshield wiper, knees side to side. Back to the center. Take the right hand overhead, roll over to the right side to fetal. Now coming up, we come into the next pose, deer pose. The left leg comes towards the front, the right leg comes behind. I think some of you will know this pose. So a few variations of deer pose. Right here, you can take your left leg in a little bit more too. We do a pelvic tilt and come up. Oops, I shouldn't do that yet. Sorry about that. Pelvic tilt and hold. Then you can add a twist. You can add the fold over to the side, or this one here. So I'll just move over a little bit so you can see. And coming over to the left side, roll back and lie down. So finding what is going to work for you. And then when you are in this pose, when you're lying down, it looks like it's harder than it really is to get into it. Take your time. You may bring your arms overhead, just the side of the body. Here, we open into the front of the body, but moving into the lower body now, into the hip flexors, quad. Facial features soften. We're able to let ourselves just be. bringing positive energy again back to yourself. Feel happy, refreshed, energized. Having clarity of mind. Now, out of deer pose, if you are lying down, coming out of deer pose the opposite way. So rolling back over to your left side and making your way up. Now to the other side. Right leg in front, left leg behind. Pelvic tilt. You may hold. You may add a twist and hold into the fold over to the side here. You can let the forehead rest too. Or coming all the way back. So we round over to the right side and come to lying down, adjusting how you see fit for yourself. And stillness. Into the quad, into the hip flexors for the left side. This is stretching out through the hip flexors, which are attached to the lower back. So if you notice that your lower back has been bothering you, this is a great stretch to help. out of deer pose. If you're lying down, again, we make our way up the opposite way that we go down. Taking our legs forward. A little shake out. And remove the fleshy part from your bottom. The next pose is caterpillar. I have a blanket at the top of my mat. I can place it underneath of my knees. Just do a little roll and place them under my knees for support. And then my hamstrings won't be stretched out as much. If you need to do that, please do. Then we can place a pillow or the bolster on top of our thighs. We sit up. You may add a fold over. Now your elbows can come down onto your pillow and then let the forehead rest into the hands. Or if you want it to come down a little bit lower, you can let the forehead rest into the backs of the hands. You can stack your pillows and then fold forward too. This is really nice when your pillows are higher. And then you don't have to worry as much too that, oh, my hamstrings are really tight from the day and, to come down, they just keep pulling and pulling. But this is a gradual progression of just releasing that fascia, all the tissue into that covers our muscle to help them release. And another thing too, you can sit on a higher surface so that your hips are higher than the knees. Then that'll take pressure off the hamstrings and your lower back. You can roll up your mat, sit on a pillow. We'll be here for a little bit longer, so if you again need to readjust, please do so. Your hamstrings started to release now. Breathe into those tight areas. Help them open up. To help for support into the back. Coming out of caterpillar, just start to lift up little by little. Taking our supports over to the side. Take your hands behind. Sitting back, we bend through the knees and take the knees wider than the hips. Windshield wiper knees side to side. And back now, sitting up, crossing our legs in front into easy pose. Again, you can have sitting higher than you are right now by sitting on a pillow. We add a twist. You can sit on a stool or a chair too. We inhale, we draw up, and then exhale, twist to the left side. Relax your shoulders away from the ears. Turning our head as the last part. Okay, making our way out of the twist. Head first, coming out. Middle of the body, lower body. To the other side. Turning. Towards the right side, we sit tall and turning slow. Close your eyes. Just to feel the stretch into our neck, down our spine. Now, before you drift too far away from me, this lovely meditation, come out of the twist, back to the front, and hold. And crossing our legs, take the legs forward and give them a shake out. And hold. Now, I will usually cross my right leg in front of my left. So I have to do the opposite way. I'm going to cross my left in front of my right. So just cross your legs the opposite way of what you did. We sit up tall. An inhale breath. An exhale breath. Fold forward. You can sit on a chair and do this too. You can open up the legs and sit on a chair. Let the forehead rest down. Let your head hang. And making your way up into Sphinx for the next pose. Come down to the front of your body in prone. Elbows underneath of the shoulders. Fingers point away. My toes are down at first here. I'll draw my body up, so my upper body up. You may have a cushion underneath, so it has to be a small little cushion, or you can roll up a towel or blanket and place it underneath your chest here for a little bit of support. Pubic bone down, we draw the navel in, engage your bandhas, and curl the toes. You may tip your chin down towards the chest and hold. Let your head go if you do this. Relax our shoulders away from the ears. Notice if you're able to release the head a little bit more. Elongating through our spine. Cervical to tailbone. Now coming out of Sphinx, you can lie down, take your elbows out to the sides, let the forehead rest into the backs of your hands. Sitting back into child's pose. And then make your way up. We come to all fours. You can do this seated too, so I'll show you this way here too, if this is accessible for your knees. Threading the needle, I'm going to show you just something maybe different that you haven't done before. So we take our right arm up to shoulder height and threading it through to the left side. So most of you have done this pose before here. The version would be taking your left arm and crossing it behind. So you may do it that way, or you can sit up, you can sit on a stool or your mat here and cross your arm in front and press your arm away from the body as you pull it in. So we're stretching the back of our shoulder.
with the other arm crossing behind, stretching the front of our shoulder and into the collarbone. Okay, coming out of threading the needle, take the left arm back to the floor. And the right arm, we make our way back up. So take your arm out
And place your hand down into the other side. Here, take the left arm up to shoulder height, threading the needle. And if you're sitting, just crossing the arm, the opposite arm over the chest. Your head rests. And take the right arm, cross it behind. Now, this is also into your rotator cuff here with the right arm. Usually those rotator cuffs overused. So let's breathe into them. Notice your rotator cuff. Is it starting to loosen, starting to release, give way? Okay, coming out of threading the needle, the right arm takes its way back towards the front. And coming up, take your left arm from underneath. You can take it shoulder height again, and then take your hand down towards the ground. And the next pose, Shavasana or pentacle. Now, lie on your back. Your knees may be bent, legs straight. You may have the legs up the wall. You can come to a seated pose. And we are going to be nice and warm. So if you have something you want to place over top of the body, closing your eyes. Breathe. Feel your lips part and your facial muscles soften. Let your body start to soften. Imagine the heat of the sun warming your body. Hopefully you are able to enjoy the sun today. Feeling the heat. You can think of it that now. Feeling warmth. Feeling happy. Feeling calm. I will call you back when it is time. Slowly coming back. Feel your toes and your fingers. And we notice our breath. We do a little shift through the body. And now if you're lying on your back, bend through the knees. The right arm comes overhead and roll over to your right side to fetal. Then make your way up to a comfortable seated position. And place your hands to your heart center. And breathe. Feeling refreshed from our class. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.